It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole Cattaruzza. Now, this is interesting. They put on CBS this morning. It's a state called Tennessee. It's still in rock, paper, scissors because it's in that corridor of U.S.A. So, there's a town called Mason, Mason. There's some kind of fight going on. Here's the thing, though. Under, like, God Save the Queen and under the us, being that there's rock, paper, and scissors, there's some people who got there. They say that they got to the town. It was already being run by stealing from one fund to pay for another. Their words, not mine. And they won't, I mean, like, why is this going? I mean, at what point, like, are these considered squatters? I mean, has anybody met Putin and, like, what's going on in Ukraine? I mean, why does this stuff happen on this side of the water? I just don't understand. It's like a Monopoly piece with a name, and he says, to quote the Bible, it's like Goliath and David and Goliath, or David and the giant, or something like that. And I'm just like, I mean, he's telling you that they know that they're in a fraudulent position, that they're there illegally, like posing as if they have some legal right to be there, but hello?
In western Tennessee, not a long drive from Memphis, a battle is raging in a town long troubled by mismanagement and corruption.
And last time I checked, in USA, if they were in a legal position, why didn't one of the bajillion-dollar, like, sports people help pay for their stay? Oh, right, because there's something that's not right. How did they just arrive? How, like, what was there beforehand? I mean, like, it doesn't add up. I don't understand why it's being afforded this, like, taxpayer waste of dollars.
Mason, Tennessee is a place that appears to be set for good fortune. Ford is about to build a factory nearby, but the town owes a lot of money, and the state says officials there cannot be trusted to run their own affairs. The local officials there say they can, and they are alleging racial discrimination in a fight that's now playing out in the courts. Our lead national correspondent, that's David Bagnell, traveled to Mason to get the full story. David, what did you find out? Good morning to you.
Good morning to you, my friend. Look, the officials in Mason believe their very existence is on the line here, okay? That's what it all boils down to. There have been years of them really struggling to get their finances straight. I mean...
Why? Why waste so many years on something that's so insignificant and trivial?
Decades, okay? Now you've got Ford coming in, ready to build a state-of-the-art plant there, and all of a sudden, as city officials start to see dollar signs, now you've got the state that's come in and said, Mason, we are taking over your finances. Mason, Tennessee, population just about 1,000, is home to a lot of landmarks that used to be.
And that used to be a school many years ago.
Virginia Rivers, born and raised here, is the town's vice mayor.
To our right, there used to be a grocery store, and a tractor trailer ran into it.
Signs of decline are everywhere. And now this town of just 2 square miles is losing the ability to govern itself. Last week, Tennessee's comptroller Jason Mumpower took over Mason's finances after years of mismanagement and corruption.
It's for the good of the tax-paying citizens who are getting nothing for the taxes they're paying.
We can't even pay any other bill over $100 without us contacting them and them giving us permission.
Rivers and Mayor Emmett Gooden have been on the town council since 2016.
When we came in, we had to fix what was already messed up. because there was money taken from the town. Almost $1 million had been stolen from the town.
The comptroller, who refused our request for an interview, did provide a timeline showing embezzlement in 1995 and again in 2012. 20 years of late audits in Mason. Nearly $900,000 illegally transferred from the Water and Sewage Fund into the general fund. So, for years, the city has essentially been robbing Peter to pay Paul, right?
That's correct.
But that's not supposed to happen, right?
It was happening before we got here, so we...
Whoa, before they got here. Okay, so who was in the town and what happened to those people? That's exactly what I want to know, because that seems like the only relevant fact here.
It was already like that.
Are y'all still taking money from the water fund?
Again, like I said, when I was born, I'm like, it was already a crime in progress when I got here to New York. Just saying. I don't know how else to... I was just... didn't want to be part of it, didn't want to be swept away by it, didn't want to be like stuck between sexual misconduct at 9, 10, and 11 level and a 4th, 5th, and 6th level of like just there's no purpose in life. I mean, it's just gross.
No.
To pay for things in the general fund. No. The comptroller initially asked the town to surrender its charter, which would have folded it into the surrounding Tipton County government. But the town board rejected that. Mason's attorney, Terry Clayton, frames the fight in biblical terms.
David against Goliath. So we're going to continue to stand up for the righteousness of this town.
How many businesses are there?
That sounds maybe like he signed some kind of NDA or gag order. I'm just saying, like, when they don't come straight out and they're not straight shooters, there's really something else going on. And I feel like it's just flying under the radar because it's just so much work in the system that is just, I don't know.
In Mason.
Currently, right now, it's full.
Not a big pot to draw from.
No.
In terms of tax revenue.
Correct.
But there's something else going on in this area. The arrival of Ford Motor Company. Tennessee gave Ford a $500 million grant to build an electric car plant just down the road from Mason. According to local reports, it'll create 33,000 construction jobs with a nearly $2 billion payroll. And once complete, there could be 27,000 jobs, and Mason could benefit dramatically from that. Just listen to the comptroller.
Tax-paying citizens have never had an opportunity like they do now.
The announcement last year that Ford was coming seemed to coincide with increased pressure from the comptroller on Mason to get its financial affairs in.
No, that's interesting. Their flag system. Now, I'm curious on that Ford thing. Are they going to be like guaranteed jobs and positions for children like my son Ben, or are they still having a problem with whatever else is going on? Because whenever I see the highlight of stories, like, I don't even see at that level of people like my children working there. It seems like just like old Detroit, like all the jobs are taken by some other, I don't know what. I mean, like, why is this allowed to continue in this really dangerous manner? I mean, like, who's funding these things?
In order.
Why couldn't he have come before now, before Ford comes, and all of a sudden you want to show up and make these demands?
In court last week, the town's attorney, joined by the NAACP, asked for a restraining order against the comptroller, accusing him of discriminating against the majority black-run town of Mason. The comptroller's attorney rejected that accusation.
The comptroller simply isn't giving the town unequal treatment, but the town is being treated similar to that other localities have been treated in the past.
There was white people that were there when all their money was stolen. Nobody showed up.
Oh, so there was people that have now gone missing completely and have been replaced. That seems to be an ongoing theme in the country that's very, very concerning. I know California, there was a story on about them. I mean, again, when you read between the lines, they seem to have a problem with this disappearing population as well. Has anybody been able to get like a real head count and like how much has just, I mean, like it's really frightening how total, and like this is a small town. Like what happened to them? I mean, bodies in the basement kind of a thing.
That's strange.
I understand what the mayor and vice mayor are saying, that like, we're doing our best. You got to give us a chance. The state is saying, look, there have been 20 years of chances. It's not all your fault, but I'm sorry, we got to come in and get it right. What's wrong with that?
It's too heavy-handed. You come down here and you have a civil conversation and not come down here and tell the folks, if you don't give up your charter, we will go around you. Okay? That's a threat.
Meanwhile, the vice mayor drives around dreaming of what Mason could be.
If you really love your city, you'll do all you can for your city. You'll do all you can to see it grow, to see it prosper. We got to come together and stand together, because if we stand together for the same thing and the right reason, we will be able to grow.
So here.
Right, but there's been a lot of growing, especially in like, I've got stuff going on in New York, and there's growing flowers and seedlings that I didn't need this much population because then it becomes dangerous, which is what it's actually become now. So this argument is like really fruitless at this point. I mean, it's like telling the story from the side. I mean, again, it's just, it's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza, it's Earth, solar system, Milky Way, universe, galaxy is broken. I'd like to know what happened to the people before.